Hello and welcome to a bit of breaking news in regards to Liverpool. And if it's your thing, if it's not even, it's good to know the financials, the accounts for 23-24 have been released by Liverpool Football Club, the official accounts in its entirety. There is a few things to dive through, and I'm Dave Davis. I'll take you through a few kind of headline bits, any call outs, maybe any positives, which despite a loss, there may be a few. The loss has got to get mentioned, and various other things. So I've got my bits, let's go into it now. Well, kind of mentioned it there. What's the key takeaway? Liverpool have recorded a 57 million pre-tax loss for that season. That is a big jump if you think about it from 9 million last year, which sounds manageable, doesn't it? It's a sharp drop there. And the reason why it's a sharp drop in overall funds is media revenues down by 38 million as I'm looking here. What's the big takeaway there? Well, we were in the Europa League last season, weren't they? If anything illustrates the difference between the competitions, Europa and Champions League, it's that revenue drop, isn't it? There are some positive, which sounds strange. Matchday revenue is actually up as I'm looking here by 22 million. A big part of that linked to the expansion of the Anfield Road Stand, isn't it, as well? Commercial revenue is up 36 million. So there's been new partnerships. If you think like Google Pixel Peloton, you may have seen at the stadium as well. They had that at the half day, didn't they? They were doing some events. So that goes into the mix. An overall record as well for the club, overall revenue, 614 million. So that, you can stare that as the positive, I suppose. Maybe concerns or things to really keep an eye on. Costs are spiralling. I think that's fair to say. Has anyone noticed that Liverpool's administrative costs, as they put out there, have surged by 38 million and now stand at, get ready for this, an eye-watering 600 million. That is, if you go all the way back to 2018, that's an increase of 88%. So costs are spiraling, it's fair to say that. Now, we've got to caveat that some of it's down, if you look in the accounts here, to staff costs, which went up by 30 million. Part of that is a delayed Champions League bonus linked to 22-23, but Jurgen Klopp and his staff departing, 9.6 million the overall package for that, which kind of makes sense because few of them would have had years left on their contracts. But even then, that level of spending is probably a bit of a concern. I don't know how you dress it up. The cost of running a football club has skyrocketed. Like even utility bills and looking here, doubled in 3 years. Matchday costs are up 80% over the last 8 years. So everything in terms of when you see the growth that, it's the cost of running a football club has spiraled. That's not to feel sorry for FSG. That is just a fact, the nature of the environment. The other big message is, like many other clubs, dependent on that Champions League cash. That's part of the model. So when we miss out, it takes a hit that way. The positive news, almost jumping forward, well, we're in it this year. We're doing well. We topped our group stage. We know what a matchday win can mean in the Champions League for the bottom line. And saying it maybe too early, but you suspect where we're going to finish in the league as well. So you'd think you would see a swing next year, but that is next year's figures, isn't it? Deep dive wise, as ever, I just wanted to give you the headlines. Mo Chatra, the man himself, he will be doing that for you later. So keep an eye out for him giving the breakdown of the figures and more detail in full. Maybe you'd call me the wish.com version, who knows. But we just wanted an Anfield Index to give you sort of the key headlines, the key call outs, and make sure you've got something from there. But keep an eye out for that, and we'll speak soon.